Now, I want to play this clip now of Chuck Todd going over a poll that NBC and Wall Street Journal conducted. This is an amazing, amazing poll. And not only is it an amazing poll because of essentially two sets of questions they asked to get people's sense of how they perceive what the health care proposals are, what they feel about that, and then actually present them with the facts of what the health care proposals are and find out how they respond to that. But what's also amazing is the sense by the mainstream media that they have no part in this perception. All right, so let's play. This is clip number 2.
And the poll also finds that large numbers of Americans still believe the myths about the Obama health care plan. 45% believe the plan will give the government the power to cut off care for the elderly. 50% believe the plan will use taxpayer money to pay for abortions. 55% believe it'll mean illegal immigrants get health insurance. While independent fact checkers say none of those statements are true, the misperceptions remain.
People over the age of 65, God forbid if they have a serious illness such as cancer, they're going to be pushed off to the side and they're just going to be left to die.
But according to our poll, when they hear the facts, it's another story. After being read a statement that includes actual details of the Obama health care plan, a majority, 53%, say they are in favor of it, while only 43% oppose it. And almost everyone surveyed agreed that some kind of reform is necessary.
So we have a poll here that basically, I mean, this is shocking. You have a majority of the people polled believe that the Obama healthcare plan, health insurance plan, will give insurance coverage to illegal immigrants. Completely untrue. Completely untrue. Not a word of this in the plan. Not a single word of this in the plan. It would lead to a government takeover of the health system. I don't know what that means, but we've had Medicare for, what, 40 years now. And do we have a complete U.S. government takeover of every aspect of healthcare? Not even close. All we're talking about is health insurance. We're not talking about the care you get from doctors. We're not talking about what hospital you go to. We're not talking about the government issuing medication. All we're talking about is insurance. And finally, we'd use taxpayer dollars to pay for women to have abortions, not a part of the program. And 45%, not a majority at least, think that it would allow the government to make decisions about when to stop providing medical care for the elderly. These are the death panels. So you have all this information that basically says the American public has absolutely no idea what they're talking about. The vast majority of Americans have no clue as to what they're against. And the hilarious part about this, and what's really hilarious is because when it's written up, when these poll results are written up on MSNBC.com, it takes them until, I don't know, 3/4 of the way through the story, in one tiny paragraph. While just 36% believe Obama's efforts to reform a health system are a good idea, that number increases to 53% when respondents were read a paragraph describing Obama's plans. Now, the hilarious part to me about this is that it doesn't occur to Chuck Todd or anybody at NBC, man, this poll basically says we suck at our jobs. We have completely failed the American public. We are one of 3 of the largest media conglomerates in the country, and half the Americans out there essentially believe that the health care plan is designed to kill Santa Claus. And the way that they debunk these obvious lies that the American public believes in is they check from a nonpartisan fact checker. Well, you know who else could theoretically be a nonpartisan fact checker? That would be the press. That would be maybe NBC, which apparently has a very large budget to pay reporters, to pay for polls, to pay Chuck Scarborough for going on and on. One might actually think that they could actually report what's in the plan. Now, maybe they would argue, well, we did that once. But somehow the American public feels that, or 45% of them feel that the government is going to basically decide grandma has to die. A majority believe the health insurance plan is going to give coverage to illegal aliens. It doesn't. That it would lead to a government takeover of the healthcare system. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever to believe that. And would use taxpayer dollars to pay for women to have abortions. Where are these lies coming from? They're obviously coming from the right-wing media. They're obviously coming from places like Fox News and Glenn Beck and morons like Michelle Bachmann. And now Chuck Grassley, the supposedly reasonable senator. And it also is allowed to flourish, these myths, because outlets like NBC are not doing their job. I mean, if I had to read that poll, if I had to be Chuck Todd, I would cut that voiceover and then I would just begin to weep mercilessly. I mean, I would feel like, my God, what a waste my life has been. What am I doing?